you very much for joining us with your perspective on that big story. Gaza's civil defense agencies reported that the death toll from an Israeli airstrike on a house in Jabalia yesterday has risen to 23. An official with the civil defense agency said the teams recovered 11 bodies in addition to the 12 victims recovered at the time of the attack yesterday. This comes after Gaza rescue teams and medics said that Israeli airstrikes killed at least 55 people on Thursday, as the military threatened an even larger offensive if hostages were not freed soon. According to the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, there have been about 500,000 newly displaced people in Gaza in the past month. In a post on X, the UNRWA stated that the multiple forced displacement orders issued by the Israeli military have left Palestinians with less than a third of Gaza's area to live in, and that the remaining space is fragmented, unsafe and barely livable. Reports also indicate that Israeli forces carrying out an early morning raid in the northern occupied West Bank city of Nablus. Reportedly, several homes were raided and searched during the operation, but no detentions have been announced so far. As per the health ministry in Gaza, 1,978 people have been killed and 5,207 injured since Israel broke its ceasefire with Hamas on the 18th of March 2025. Meanwhile, Israel's military has acknowledged that it killed a United Nations worker with tank fire in Gaza last month. The incident had taken place on the 19th of March when a UN compound in Deir al-Balah was hit, resulting in the death of a UN employee. At the time, the Israel Defense Forces stated it had not targeted the location. According to the IDF, these early findings have been shared with the United Nations and a full report will be provided. Martin Saer-Erez, Foreign Affairs Analyst, is joining us live from Frankfurt in Germany. Martin, thank you for being with us today. What do you make of this latest assault, in fact, in Gaza, and what sort of ramifications it will have on the wider conflict?
So first of all, Israel is doing what we call attacking the terrorist infrastructure. We see that in Gaza right now. We see a lot of collateral damages. People there are dying, but all of these casualties are really sad. But we need to remember there's still hostages being taken hostage by Hamas, and they need to be held accountable. Right now, Israel doing all of its efforts to get the hostages back. And even, you need to remember, even Mahmoud Abbas said that Hamas needs to release the hostages. So I think Israel is doing what any country in the world should be doing right now, which is protecting itself against a terror organization. It's very sad about all of the casualties and people being dying right now, but Hamas needs to be stopped. We see right now the developments of the war. Right now, the war in Israel is getting better. Like, we see less attacks from Gaza, which is good. We see less attacks in general from Hamas because they already have the war. They're completely lost. They didn't win the war. They're lost, and they only want to win the war of the media, of the whole world attacking Israel and blaming Israel for a genocide that doesn't exist.
Yes, Martin, as far as, of course, now the days ahead are concerned, do you believe that the strikes by Israel are only going to intensify? They have given a deadline saying that their offensive will, in fact, escalate if the hostages are not returned as soon as possible.
So, as you said, the power of lowering or increasing the terrible outcomes of this war is on Hamas. From day one, Hamas had the possibility to stop this war by giving back the hostages, which they're not doing. So Israel is willing to a complete ceasefire if the hostages are back. Israel is willing to completely taking back the army, stopping the strike if the hostages are back, which they are not going to do because, unfortunately, there's a big signal that these hostages, most of them are dead. Like, Hamas already killed them, all of them from day one. I think Israel will strike more because Hamas is not cooperating. They're not even, the entire international communities asking for the hostages to be back, and Israel will not stop until they have even their dead bodies. So Israel will continue to strike. I think the war is not going to be to an end very soon, but I think after the war, there will be peace between Gaza and Israel because Hamas will be defeated and this terror infrastructure will be defeated. But it will
Martin,
take time.
do we expect then a ceasefire soon? Do you anticipate that, or do you believe it's not looking likely currently?
No, it's not looking like that. I've been watching several interviews by Netanyahu, and he will not stop striking until all of this issue of the hostages is over. So I don't see an end to the conflict in Gaza. Very soon there will be an end, probably this year. But in the near future, we're talking about weeks. I don't see a ceasefire coming into a place. But in general, I see good development in the Israeli conflict. For example, with Syria, I see that there's huge milestones towards peace. So I see a good ending on the Israeli conflict, but not with Gaza, maybe with other Arab neighbors.
All right, Martin Saarez, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that big story. And that's all the time we have for you today on the World Report. We'll continue to bring you more news and updates